Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shadowed City podcast. I am your host, Larry, and this is The Shadows Within. Got a few things to go over. Also, I want to talk about what's going on with an event being hosted by a friend, Stephanie Taylor. It's finally happening. Anyone who can volunteer, contact Stephanie about donating supplies for the Stars and Stripes and Support Adopt a Vet barbecue fundraiser. It will be Friday, July 3rd, 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Adopt a Vet is an up-and-coming nonprofit organization and is hosting a family-fun independence fundraiser. It will be at Oakdale Middle School, 815 South Oakdale, Medford, Oregon, to collect funds for purchasing 501c certifications to serve more veterans. Wristbands, $10 individual entry, $15 two bands two and under fee. Wristbands cover unlimited game access, duck for a duck, three-legged race, fish for a prize, face painting, and more. One barbecue dinner plate each band, one free stick of cotton candy, $1 if you bring back your stick, $2 with a new stick. Wristbands, donations, and raffle tickets will be at the gate to the football field. Come out, have fun, and support our veterans. I wanted to shout that out. If she'd like to come on the pod, she can. I did give her that offer, and if we happen to do it another day, hope she'll let me know. So happy to help and support. And I got some shows to go over and cover. Also for IZW, their next pay-per-view will be Never Back Down this coming June. Stay tuned for that. And I have a few shows to go over, starting with All Star Pro, Season 4, Episode 4, Grindhouse. Jay Stone Jones versus Lonza Kazarian, with Jay Stone Jones walking out victorious. Rockstar Scarlett versus Kira, with Rockstar Scarlett walking out victorious. Montgomery Sherman versus Big Bear Bison, with Big Bear Bison walking out victorious. Chris Legend versus Perry Hale, with Chris Legend walking out victorious. Blackjack versus the Ghost J Jin, with Blackjack walking out victorious. Sylvia Knight versus Sonia Ortiz, with Sonia Ortiz walking out victorious. Jackson Mitchell versus Jimmy Kane, with Jimmy Kane walking out victorious. Grindhouse Championship Bandita versus the champion Paige Sky Smith, with Paige Sky Smith walking out retaining the gold. Grindhouse Championship Jay Red versus the champion Juan Sanchez, with Juan Sanchez retaining the gold. ASW Rules Carmelo Justice versus Noah Butler, with Noah Butler walking out victorious. Triple Threat Steel Cage Crazy Fox versus Danielle Barber versus Madison Outlaw, with Crazy Fox walking out victorious. Jay Smoke versus Wiggy the Rejected, with Jay Smoke walking out victorious. Marcus Watts versus Travis Turner, with Travis Turner walking out victorious. 420 Hardcore Championship Billy Barber versus the champion Sicko, with Sicko retaining the gold. Triple Threat Liko Lions versus Kei Shama Rayo versus Nikita Sakamoto, with Liko Lions walking out victorious. No Man's Land Championship held at the No Man's Land match, which is the Underground 2 out of 3 falls. Big Time versus the champion Jay Money, with Jay Money retaining. ASW Championship 2 out of 3 cell. The Ghost J Jin versus the champion Mr. Cause, with Mr. Cause retaining the gold. Smoke Chamber 2 out of 3 fatal 5-way Miss Chen versus Rachel Blade versus Victoria Ritchie versus Angela versus Kailana Wilson, with Kailuana Wilson walking out victorious. Now for IZW shows. IZW Bloodsport, IZW Bloodlust Championship Falls Count Anywhere, Jen versus Jules Wigginton versus Christina Palmer versus Artemis, with Jules Wigginton walking out victorious. KO Championship Craig Mack versus the champion Logan Slater, with Logan Slater retaining the gold. Luther Cross versus John Wigginton, with Luther Cross walking out victorious. Lady Blue versus the champion Sonia Ortiz for the IZW Women's Championship, with Sonia Ortiz retaining the gold. Jack Jackson and Jaquil versus Max King and Alex King, with Max King and Alex King walking out victorious. Steel Cage IZW Lockdown Championship, Akane, the champion, defending against Muerte El Guapo, with Akane retaining the gold. Johnny Superkicks versus Primetime Jojo versus Big T versus the Deranged Clown and Sidious versus the Phantom Eddie Walker, with Eddie Walker walking out victorious. Reese the Destroyer versus Duke Main, with Reese the Destroyer walking out victorious. IZW International Championship, Tony Rose versus AJ Woods versus the champion Big Oos, with AJ Woods walking out the new champion. The Royal Geniuses, Katie and Combat Genius versus the Red Wolves, the champions for the IZW Tag Team Championships, with the Royal Geniuses walking out the new champions. Frank Ortiz versus Alexander Colt, with Frank Ortiz walking out victorious. And in the main event for the IZW Universal Championship, Rob Anderson, the champion, defending against CJ Frost and Buster Anderson, with Rob Anderson retaining the gold. IZW Beatdown, Riley the Ripper versus Olivia Madison in an underground match, with Olivia Madison walking out victorious. Muerte El Guapo versus Rusty Steele, with Muerte El Guapo walking out victorious. Tornado Tag, Crimson Heart and Dragon Heart versus Carter Riley and Cooper Riley, with the Rileys walking out victorious. Alex Knight and Akane versus Akane, Falls Count Anywhere, Akane walking out victorious. Extreme Rules 3-Way, The Amazon versus Baby Bone Crusher versus Angelina West, with Angelina West walking out victorious. 2 Falls match, Frank Ortiz versus Alpha, with Frank Ortiz walking out victorious. Jack Jackson versus Big Lou, with Big Lou walking out victorious. TXT Intake, TXT Gladiator Championship, Bishop Freeman versus the champion Psycho in an underground, with the Psycho retaining the gold. 4-Way Extreme Rules, Big Bertha versus Phoenix versus Gemma Lee Star versus Sylvia Knight, with Gemma Lee Star walking out victorious. Billy Barber versus Buster Anderson, with Buster Anderson walking out victorious. Nagasaki versus Trey Young with Nagasaki walking out victorious. Apex Predator Championship, 2 out of 3 Extreme Rules, Black Dragon versus the champion HBIC Nisha, with HBIC Nisha retaining the gold. Women's World Tag Team Championships, 2 out of 3 Extreme Rules, Monica Hernandez and Angel Death versus Hawaiian Jewel and Lico Lyons, with Jules Wigginton, with Hawaiian Jewel and Lico Lyons walking out victorious. My apologies. Elimination Extreme Rules, Killian Bain and John Wigginton versus Jackson Wright and Oconee, with Killian Bain and John Wigginton walking out victorious. And in the main event, 2 out of 3 Extreme Rules, Dimebag Dan versus the villain Todd Wilson, with Dimebag Dan walking out victorious. That's what I have to go over at the moment. And also today, here soon, I will be interviewing Brittany Diamond. Excited for that interview. Hope you all are as well. Stay tuned for that. And I do hope everybody has a great day. Good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all may be. Peace out.